Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I hope you all are fine. I am also fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to the online class presented by Motijil Government Girls High School. As usual, I am Nasima Begum, your English teacher. I will take today English second paper class for class 9. Dear students, can you see me clearly? If you see me, then you can say and let me know your presence. Let me know your presence. You will write down your name, section and roll and send it through message. Please hurry up. Dear students, can you see me clearly? Can you see me? And let me know your presence. You must write down your name, section and roll and send it through message. And have you brought exercise copy? If you don't, please hurry up. You need an exercise copy and a pen. Have you remembered which topic we learned in our previous class? Yes, we have learned about a grammar topic named completing sentence, and we discussed about few rules of completing sentence. I hope all you can remember the rules of the completing sentence which we discussed in our previous class. Dear students, if you try to remember, you will find that which rules we learned in our previous class. We learned about 3 conditionals. Can you remember them? Providing that or provided that, in case and other rules. Now today I want to see that how much you remember our topic, how much you remember the previous rules of completing sentence. I have written 2 examples on the board. Please see the 2 examples, and if you remember your previous class, I hope you will be able to do them. Can you see the board? Yes, I can see that. You can see the board clearly. But I am going to read so that you can understand. Had I the power of magic. Had I the power of magic. Had I the power of magic. It is question number 1 because we have learned this rule. And number 2, he drew more money in case. Listen students, I gave you some homework for you, and I have seen that many students didn't write completing sentence properly, but you have to know them. You have to write the full portion. The given portion, যে অংশটা দেয়া থাকবে সে অংশটাও লিখবে, তারপরে হলো যে অংশটা ব্ল্যাঙ্ক থাকবে সেটাও লিখতে হবে এবং তার নিচে আন্ডারলাইন করতে হবে. I am telling in Bangla because these are very important, and if you don't write the 2 clauses or the 2 portions, then you will not get number. So be careful students. You will write the whole portion of the sentence, and the vacant portion যে অংশটা খালি থাকবে সেটার নিচে তোমাকে আন্ডারলাইন করতে হবে. এই রুলটুকু তোমাদের মনে রাখতে হবে. It is general, and I have seen that many students use equal sign, সমান সমান চিহ্ন. It is not necessary students. You will write down which it appears in the question paper as usual. You should not use any unnecessary marks. Okay students, had I the power of magic and he drew more money in case. Write them and send it to me through message. Please students, I want to read your message. Had I the power of magic. It is which conditional? Can you remember? It is second conditional. Conditional we can start by using if, in case, provided that, and auxiliary verb. Had I, there is no another verb, so there is only had. That means it is second conditional. So here you have to use the word of second conditional. Question number 2, he drew more money in case. He drew more money in case. In case means if. What is the meaning of in case? In case means if. So you have to remember that if plus present, and if as it is past, that means you must use here past. He drew more money in case. What you have written I am going to read. Try to write down. Okay students, are you able to write? Had I the power of magic, I would. What have you written? Would, could or might. Subject plus would, could or might, then the present form of the verb. Had I the power of magic, I could make it. I could buy a new dress. I could wear a new dress. I could eat various tasty foods, etc. Number 2, he drew more money in case. Dear students, here past tense is used here. So, if plus past, you must write down here past also. Then what we can write? Drew more money means taka uthano. He drew more money in case. In case means if. That means he needed or he required. Okay, many of you have written the correct answer. We will start today another rule and listen to them very carefully. Listen to it very carefully, dear students. We will write our next question, next rule. Lest. Lest. The use of lest. Do you know the meaning of lest? You have to remember the meaning. If you don't remember, then you will not be able to write down correct answer. Lest means for fear of. Pache bhoy hoy je. You should remember this. Why? I am telling you. And you should remember this. After lest, we should not use negative. Not should not be used here. And another is, we should use the opposite sense of the word. Opposite sense. Not, we should not use here not, and we must use opposite. How? Think about it. Work fast, lest. Work fast, lest. Work fast, lest. Can you say work fast? Fast means quickly. Lest what? Work fast, lest you should or might catch the bus. No, you might miss the train or bus. I am giving another word, another sentence. He walked slowly, lest. Now you will write down the answer. What will happen in our next sentence? Write down it. Dear students, I have written one example. Now it is your turn. You will write down the what will be. He walked slowly lest. He walked slowly. Ma'am, kichu dekha jacche na. Why? Oh, very good. Why you can't see? I am making the zoom. Now can you see the students? I am trying to. Can you see now? Can you see them properly? Ma'am, clear dekha jai na. Now you can see. Tell me please. Now can you see? Yes, very good. I think you can see them. I have written one example. Walk fast lest. লেস্টের পরে আমরা নট ব্যবহার করব না এবং পজিটিভ ওয়ার্ড ব্যবহার করব না, নেগেটিভ সেন্সের ওয়ার্ড ব্যবহার করব। এই দুইটা জিনিস তোমাদের মনে রাখতে হবে। ওয়ান আই হ্যাভ ডান অ্যান্ড নাও ইট ইজ ইয়োর টার্ন টু রাইট ডাউন। হি ওয়ার্ক স্লোলি লেস্ট, বোঝা যায় না এখনো? ইয়েস ম্যাম। নাও ট্রাই টু রাইট ডাউন হি ওয়ার্ক স্লোলি লেস্ট. Lest you might have pain in leg. Might have pain in leg. Good. Okay, miss. Write down. I'm reading your comments. Walk fast. He walked slowly. ভয় হচ্ছে কি? What? Fear of পড়ে যেতে পারে. Isn't it? So you can write this. He. Then he might fall down. Clear? And you must underline this. If you don't underline, then it is not clear which portion is vacant. Okay, students. Now our next rule. Can you see the board? Okay, very good. Our next rule, I am writing here 3 rules at a time. 3টা নিয়ম আমি একসঙ্গে লিখবো. Dear students, you should try to understand. And if you learn one, then you will be able to write down the 3 rules. Which are the 3 rules? You will write down since, S-I-N-C-E, as if, and as though. Clear? Since, as if, and as though. Since, as if, and as though. These 3 rules are same, but meaning, these 2 meanings are same, but it is different. When since is used in the middle of the sentence, and as if means jano, as if and as though, as if and as though, and since. These 3 words, if they are used in the middle of the sentence, then you have to remember that if the first portion is present, the second clause will be past, and if the first portion is past, the second clause will be past perfect. Clear, students? Since যদি মাঝখানে ব্যবহার হয় বাক্যে, since, as if, and as though, if they are used in the middle of the sentence, then we have to use in this way. How? If the first portion is present, present means present indefinite, present perfect. Clear? And the last portion will be past indefinite. And if the first portion is past indefinite, the last portion will be past perfect. Okay, students, I am giving an example. We have passed many years since. We have passed many years since. Look at this portion. You have to identify the tense. Which tense is it? Have past. We know that it is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense. In a present perfect tense, we use have and V3. It is not past. Present perfect means present. So the last portion will be past indefinite. We have passed many years since our grandfather died. Clear? As it is present, the last portion is past. Now I have clear have. Look at this. I have clear have. Then it becomes a past indefinite tense. Then the last portion will be had died. Clear, student? If I change this portion, you have to change also the second clause. If you don't understand clause, then you have to divide since এর আগের অংশ পরের অংশ, you have to remember in this way. If the first portion is present, the last portion is past indefinite, and if the first portion is past indefinite, the last portion will be past perfect. Dear students, can you remember the past perfect? Had plus V3. Had plus V3. Okay, I think you have a clear idea about since. Now let us try to understand the rule of as if or as though. She talks as if. She talks. Which tense is it? She talks. Can you say which tense? Which tense is it? It is past present indefinite tense. It is present indefinite tense. Now you have to say the last portion will be which tense? Of course, it will be past indefinite. And he talks as if. সে কথা বলে এমন ভাবে কিভাবে how? As if যেন she knew everything. Everything. Okay, students, you have to identify the tense. It is present, then the last portion is past. And if I change it past, what will happen? It will be past perfect. Okay, I am going to write another. She talked. Talked. It is past indefinite. Talked. As if she, you have to turn it past perfect. She had known everything. She talked as if she had known everything. And we can use as if instead of as though. As if and as though are same. We can use here as though also. As though. Okay, meaning are same. Okay, students, I hope all you understand, all you have understood these three rules: since, as if, and as though. Now let us come to our next rule. And you have learned this rule when you learned present past perfect tense. 3. Hardly, scarcely, no sooner. Have you remembered it? You have learned this. These are called unusual example of past perfect tense. এগুলো দিয়ে গঠিত যে সেন্টেন্সটা এটা past perfect tense and they are called unusual example. সচরাচর যেটা দেখা যায় না, একটু uncommon. So you have to learn them clearly. Okay, students, hardly, scarcely, no sooner. I have told you that all the sentence will be past perfect tense, past perfect. That means one portion will be past perfect and the other portion will be past indefinite. Let us try to write down example. Hardly had they seen the teacher. Okay, students, and this will be blank portion. Hardly had they seen. Look at the sentence structure had, and this is V3. That means this portion is past. Can you see the board? I am checking. Yes, you can see very clearly. Hardly had they seen the teacher. That means this is past perfect tense. Had and V3, past perfect tense. Why this angry? Who is talking unnecessary? I have seen that. Shafia Islam Meghla. You should not pass any irrelevant comment. I have written here an example. And if you don't understand, then you have to write down. Muhammad Ismail, the student stood up. Very good, but you have to write another thing. And I didn't write here the students. So you should not use any noun. এখানে আমি pronoun use করেছি। তাহলে পরের অংশ কি তুমি noun ব্যবহার করবে না pronoun? ছোড়া, ছোয়া, বড়ুয়া, roll 12, write down the example. What I have written. Hardly had they seen the teacher. We have to use a connecting word. Which will be the connecting word? Can you see the board? When. Then we have to write down past indefinite. When they stood up. STOOD, stood up. Now clear? Hardly had they seen the teacher when they. You have to use here when. When কখন ব্যবহার করবে? Hardly এবং scarcely সময়. Clear? If you don't clear, then write it to me. If the student stood up to show respect to the teacher, Aisha Asha, you have to write a connecting word, and the connecting word must be when. If I use no sooner, then you have to use here then. Clear? If I use no sooner, then the connecting word will be then, THAN. Very good. I think I am giving you another example. Hardly and scarcely are the same. Hardly and scarcely are the same. I am giving you another example. You will write down. No sooner had he heard the news. Now you have to fill the gaps. No sooner had he heard the news. Hurry up. Students, hurry up. Saima Akhtar, when they stood up. Yes, okay, very good. Now I have given another example and you will do them. Hurry up, I am giving your message. No sooner had he heard the news. No sooner had he heard the news. Okay, write quickly. When they were eating. No sooner had he heard the news. You have to use past indefinite. Afrina Tabassum Niha. It on past indefinite. You must use past indefinite. He told it everyone. Then he told it everyone. Okay, very good. Who has written this? Muhammad Ismail. Very good. He became then. Sufia Islam, you have made a spelling mistake. THAN. Then he rushed to the hospital. Very good. Okay. That means you have to remember THAN. THAN. Then, no sooner had he heard the news. Then he rushed to the hospital. Or anywhere you have to use them. Then THEN, no, THAN. Fariha Rahman. You are all again write THEN, but you have to write down THAN. I hope all you have understood this. Okay, students, let us try to start our next rule. As soon as, use of as soon as. As soon as. No sooner, this is the negative, and as soon as, this is the positive or affirmative. When you are told to turn into affirmative to negative, you have learned then as soon as positive and no sooner negative. But in a completing sentence, you have to remember that when as soon as used, we have to use same tense in the two clauses. That means we must use past indefinite tense. We must use past indefinite tense. If the first portion is past indefinite, the last portion also will be past indefinite tense. How? Let us see the example. As soon as he heard the news, he ran to the spot. Clear? I think this is vacant portion. As soon as he heard the news, he ran to the spot. The tense, same tense. This is past indefinite and this is also past indefinite. That means when we use as soon as, we have to use the same tense in the two clauses. Clear? Will I give another example? I think it is easy and you have learned it in negative to affirmative. So we will go another rule. It is time or it is high time. It is time or it is high time. High time. We have to use this rule in two ways. Miss zoom করলে ভালো হয়। আচ্ছা দেখি একজন বলছো জুম করলে ভালো হয়, কিন্তু আমি তো দেখছি জুম করলে কেটে কেটে যায়। It is time or it is high time. Now clear? It is clear. It is time or it is high time. Miss zoom করলে ভালো হয়। Lamia Afrin. Now is it clear? Now is it clear, students? Ji ma'am. Okay. Look at this. It is time or it is high time. I have said that we have to use two ways. Which are the two ways? One is if it is high time. After it is high time, there is a subject. It is high time. If there is a subject, we have to do in one way, and if there is no subject, it is high time to. Look at this. There is a subject and there is a to here. If there is no subject, we have to use both the rules. But what are the rules? It is high time. If subject, যদি subject দেয়া থাকে তাহলে পরের অংশটা হবে past indefinite tense. And if there is no subject and to থাকে তাহলে আমরা present indefinite tense ব্যবহার করব. Clear? It is high time to solve the problem. To, if it is to. And if there is subject, it will be past indefinite. It is high time we solved the problem. I am writing it. It is high time we solved the problem. And if there is two, it is high time to solve. SOLVE. Solve the problem. Now students, can you understand me? Can you see the board? Very good. Can you understand clearly? If there is subject, then we have to use past indefinite tense. And if there is no subject, you can use by using to and also we or any subject. I am giving an example. I think all you have understood. I am giving an example. You will solve them. It is time. It is time to. You will not write my sentence. You will make another sentence. It is time. Time and high time are same. It is time our government. Our government. It is time, and I have written here a subject. Okay students, hurry up. Do the two sentences. It is high time we have met each other. Have. Why do we use here have? Shafia Islam Megla. Past indefinite. You have used it present perfect. But I have told you to write down past indefinite. Past indefinite to বুঝতে হবে বাবা. Past indefinite means we have to use subject past form. Yes ma'am. Very good. Now complete it. Talked with everyone. It is high time to. It is high time to go out now. Aisha Asha. Very good. Now write down this. It is time our government. It is time to work together. Mohammad Ismail. Very good. Samia Akhtar. Get ready for school. Very good. Government. Now it is, write down this, our government take a step. No students, our government, there is a subject, then the last portion will be past indefinite. It is time our government. Can't you? Aren't you able to write it down? It is time our government took pragmatic steps. Mohammad Ismail Holder, very good. Our government took some initiatives to remove illiteracy. You have written our government took pragmatic steps. Very good. That means past indefinite. Okay, I think you have all understood this. Now, I think you won't forget. Will you forget? No. You should remember and you should match these rules with your book. Now we will write another if there is a mark. Suppose it is vacant and honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the best policy and there is a question mark. Suppose at the end of the last portion, if there is a question mark, you have to remember it. If you find a question mark in the board and if you see that the first portion is vacant, then you have to use a part of sentence which is used to make questions. What will be used here? Can you say? Honesty is the best policy. Don't you know? We can write in any way. Do you know? Or don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know that? Clear? Now it becomes a question. Then you will get marks. And if you write everybody knows that, then the question and the first question won't be the same. So you have to remember the mark in the question paper too. Suppose there is a exclamation mark, then what will happen? Look at this. Look at this. The garden is and there is an exclamation mark. The garden is and there is an exclamation mark. Then what will you use? You have to use, try to understand, you have to use, don't you think? Okay, now let us come to our next question. It is sure that honestly no, dear students, I have used here a question mark. Who has written this? Megla. I have used a question mark. আমি তোমাদের বোঝাতে চাচ্ছি যে যদি কোশ্চেন পেপারে কোনো একটা কমপ্লিটিং এ কোশ্চেন মার্ক থাকে সেই ক্ষেত্রে তুমি কি করবে? কোশ্চেন মার্কটাকে কি অমিট করে দিবে? নো, নেভার। ইউ হ্যাভ টু থিংক অ্যাবাউট অ্যানাদার ওয়ে। ক্লিয়ার? Roja, Maria Roja, how beautiful the garden is. Very good. How beautiful the garden is. How beautiful the garden is. That means you have to remember that we should not remove or omit any sign in the question paper. Okay students, I think all you have understood. We will learn another rule. And you have to remember subject and agreement. It is called subject. You have to understand subject and agreement. It is I and it is I who. Suppose this is in your question paper. It is I. This is subject and this subject is I. Then you have to use which will be used on this subject. It is I who has done the work or have done the work. You have to remember that I এর সঙ্গে কোনটা যায়? Have না has? Of course have. And if it is he who. If the question is it is he who, then you have to think the subject is he. So we have to use a verb which will go with the subject. এর সঙ্গে কি যায়? Have না has? Has. তাহলে it is he who has done the work. Who has done the work. It is I who have done the work. Who am to blame? That means subject related to verb will be used here. Okay students, I am giving you an example and you have to write it. Subject, agreement with the verb. The man who. The man who. Okay, now you will, I have no place here, so I have written here. It is one. Flood is a calamity that. Flood is a calamity that. Can you say? Can you write it? The man who. The man who. M-A-N. It is singular. You have to remember this. And if you use past tense, you can also write it down. The man who came here yesterday. Is it a complete sentence? No. You have to complete. If you need two clauses, you have to write two clauses also. Look at this. The man who. যে লোকটি. The man who. That means you have to write two clauses here. The man who came here yesterday. Sentence is not complete. So we have to write another clause. The man who came here yesterday is my brother. Is my brother. Clear? If you need two clauses to complete a sentence, you will write two clauses. Flood is a natural calamity, or flood is a calamity that calamity, and flood singular. Flood is a calamity. Here subject is flood. If we use here floods, then we have to use plural portion, plural subject and plural verb. Flood is a calamity that causes or that destroys our crops. Flood is a every year, you can write it down, that destroys our crops. That means you have to make agreement between subject and verb. Who was present in the meeting is my uncle. Very good. Okay students, I think all the rules you have understood. Now I am giving you 5 homework and write it down, because we have a few minutes time. So within this time you will write down homework. Write down in your copy homework. Question number 1. Write it quickly. HW. Many people cut trees, though. Many people cut trees, though. You will write it. Question number 2. Trees cause rainfall. Which? Trees cause rainfall. Which? Question number 3. Because of river erosion. Because of, what is the meaning of river erosion, students? Do you know it? Nodi bhangong, which is very common at present. Question number 4. Question number 4. He put on warm clothes, lest. Put on warm clothes, lest. And our last number. Trees supply oxygen. Trees supply oxygen. This. Okay students, I am checking board is clear or not. Dear students, you will write them in your exercise copy. I have make it zoom so that you can clearly see. Many people cut trees, though. And the last portion is vacant. Write quickly. Question number 2. Trees cause rainfall. Rainfall which? And last portion is vacant. Question number 3. Because of river erosion. Because of river erosion. And question number 4. Put on warm clothes, lest. Put on warm clothes, lest. And 5 number. Trees supply oxygen. You should write the whole sentences and send it to me through message. Students, have you finished your SW writing? You will write the whole portion and you should complete the vacant portion, then send it to me through message. And I check all the copies, and if you have any mistake, I always give some suggestion too. Okay students, I hope all you have understood completing sentence. If you have any particular problem, or if you are unable to solve any question, then send it to me through message. I will solve them. and in my next class we will discuss another topic. Thank you very much.